Speaking of that, there probably aren't a lot of bands in Maryville.
I mean,
would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely not.
There's not a lot of bands in Maryville, no.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of bands in this area, period. Like even,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of small towns around Maryville that a lot of people don't even probably know about. Because I grew up in a really small town, and these guys, you know, we never grew up here in Maryville, and we all grew up in smaller towns than this. And I mean, there's always bands around towns, you know, but they're never anything like huge because they just don't have the outlets. They don't have the people there to help them like you would if you were in a big city.
Yeah.
You don't have the venues. And a lot of people just don't know where to start.
There's a lot of people that make music, I think.
Yeah.
Like, we know we have a lot of resources here. There's, you know, there's Eric Mackey that has his project.
Yeah, and
State Park.
Obsidian's in the area.
DJ Mike C. That, you know,
it's not. It's not these places. I mean, they're not like, you know, State Park's doing awesome. Like, he just finished up. He's putting out like a full length. He's sending it out to New York to get it mastered. That's going to be awesome. I'm excited for him too. And it's not that those places aren't bands. It's just in this part of the area when it's so rural, it's really tough because you're not always sure who's around. Whereas if you're in Kansas City, you hear about other bands in Kansas City. If you're in Clarinda, or if you're in Bedford, or if you're in Hopkins or Tarkio, you don't hear about. It's harder to hear about those other bands from those other areas, like because we're, you know, still kind of distant.
Yeah.
And I mean, hopefully we've been doing a good job of coming together with everybody, and that's what we need to keep doing. So.
Can you talk about a little bit about your more recent projects that are coming up?
I mean,
well, let's just start with the CD we recorded,
yeah,
which was, we started, we recorded a CD at the end of the summer where we're just like, all right, let's just do this. So we got to get something out there, and that's before we actually like we're as tight as as we are right now, and so we just kind of, you know, got this thing.
And we went up and we recorded a couple songs, and we had one of our friends fill in on the drum tracks, and he just kind of played along, which, I mean, some people notice, some people don't, but that's what's awesome now is when we get to go to shows, people get to see Ben and see everything that Ben gets to do.
Our music is just like, it's evolving so fast, and that's why it helps us. I mean, we really believe in, we're going to record in, what is it, in
March,
spring break?
Spring break.
And that's gonna be like, our big thing.
Yeah,
we're so excited. Just like, I think about it every single day.
Yeah, we're gonna spend
a lot of money.
A lot more money.
That's up in Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
But what other projects? We did get one. Like we went back and recorded the place in Lincoln that we had gone with Ben, and that's our newest track for Better Hallway Vision. And you can just tell when you hear it, it's just like has a whole different vibe to it and a whole different feeling. And like that's what we have. That's us as a band. And
it's a much better representation of who we are and what
we're planning tours right now. We have we already have a tour all set up in at the day after Christmas through the middle of January. And then we got asked to go on a tour from like Devon Music. They set up tours and they do all that, and they were very appreciative of them, but they asked us to go, and they're setting most of it up, and so that's in the beginning of summer. Or
it's right after school gets out, and we'll be doing that. And I mean, awesome things keep happening every day. You know, just getting support from everybody here in Maryville. It's just growing every day, and it's been awesome because you ask yourself, well, how does a band go about booking a tour? Well, like all we did was just dive right in. We don't really know how to book a tour. We asked a couple people, what do you guys do? I asked a couple of our friends, one of the bands that played a couple Sundays ago, what do you guys do? They're like, well, we try and do this, and that's literally how it happened. Just a lot of trial and error, a lot of,
and when
you know,
the internet helps a lot, I would say. But like when people like your music and they like, you know, they're just like, yeah, and they believe in you too, then it just helps. Like we've found that like it's been awesome setting up a tour with, you know, it's just been really,
I mean,
it's been a good experience.
We haven't played that many shows, but at every show we play with 2-3 other bands, and those three other bands from different places help us get shows there.
Yeah.
They like our stuff, you know.
It's just all about networking.
Yeah, we just, like, bigger and better things just, like, keep happening to us, whether, like, we really see it or not. But, like, I think a big step is we haven't been a band that long. We just got, like, sweet T-shirts made that we can sell. Like, I mean, that's pretty cool. When we go to record in March, we're going to get it pressed. So it's like an actual CD that you could find at Best Buy or whatever.
Yeah, dude.
Let's see that
Cool.
T-shirt. That
But-
sweet T-shirt.
Oh yeah, he's got a
Tyler.
sweet T-shirt if we want to plug it. I mean, like I just think projects are just gonna keep getting bigger and better. Like I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we start selling pigeons or something. You know, like
Start
What?
with
I like
pictures.
a No Coke November
It's
official
righteous.
pigeon. Look for him.
So, yeah, there's like 5 pigeons in here on this shirt. Yeah, it's like Where's Waldo? You gotta look for him. Just buy it. You'll get to play the game.
So, where do you see your band going? Do you see yourselves becoming as big as like Red Jumpsuit Apparatus? Or?
Oh, I hope so.
Cool.
I'm shooting for the stars. I
Of
don't know,
course.
and I'm pretty sure everyone else is with me on
We
that.
have
Like,
dreams. I think we keep it really realistic.
I
Like,
mean-
we're gonna work really hard at this for a long time.
It's really tough to say what can happen and what kind of time frame. Like overnight success in music. Like you can look at a band. I don't know if anybody is familiar with Mayday Parade. They're from like Tallahassee. Basically, a couple bands in Tallahassee. 2 of them came together to form this like super band, and they started about 2.5 years ago, and now they're just everywhere right now. You know, all over MTV. They're on a tour with All Time Low, playing. You know, just everywhere, man. There's across nationwide, and that took 2.5 years, and that's overnight success. You think about
And music.
some of these bands have been together for 10 years.
And we've been
yeah.
we've been together for 3 months right now, and
Yeah.
like in our defense, like we have huge beliefs, and especially like just like growing up in high school and everything. There's a lot of people that are just like, you know, pipe dreams or whatever. You know, they have a lot of people have a lot of things to say, but that's just part of a belief. Like you have to believe in it yourself. It doesn't matter what other people do. But we've been a band for November 1st was our 3rd month as an official band,
Yep.
and we like if you check out any band at MySpace, any band like on MySpace or like we've done like some really awesome things in 3 months, and so that's like proof of why we're excited, why we hope everyone can be excited. We want everyone to be excited, but with
I mean, we
music-
almost have 20,000 plays on our MySpace.
Yeah.
I mean, that's saying something.
Yeah, definitely.
Over 3 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself staying on like an independent label, or would you like to go to a major record label? Because there's always that stigma with a
Yeah.
lot of bands of like selling out.
Yeah.
What are your feelings on that?
I don't really believe in selling out. Like, not like the idea of it. I think is fallible. Like, it just
I would.
it's music. Like, you're making music.
it depends how much control they would want to have.
Yeah, if they want to dictate your music, then that would be selling out, and I don't think that we would ever let anybody do that anyway. You know, regardless, I don't think that we could.
Our music
write-
can't be dictated. Like the way we write music,
We
like,
can't,
They
yeah.
couldn't even. I don't know.
It's just
I couldn't write. We couldn't write something the way somebody told us to write it. You know,
And
like
you
it
couldn't
has to be
sing it
us.
unless you believed in it. You know,
Yeah.
so
There's a
You know,
total difference.
On top of all that, the way the music business is changing, it's maybe 10 years ago it was really hard for an independent artist, you know, to make it. But now with the internet, with iTunes, and with the way that file sharing and peer-to-peer has changed absolutely everything, CD sales are, you know, through the floor. And iTunes has kind of brought some of that up because they make it reasonable. But on top of all this, it's not anywhere near as hard to make it as an independent artist. And that's why a lot of these record labels are, you know, kind of wavering, is because independent artists are like, well, no, I can do what I'm doing now on my own and have a lot more control, and we don't need you.
you can
know?
go on a tour and make
Yeah.
money. Like
That's where the
you know.
money. That's where the money is touring. I mean, because when kids come out to your shows and they buy the merch, I mean, you're making a lot
Straight
more
into
money.
your pocket.
Yeah, you're making a lot more money, you know, on a T-shirt than you are on a CD, because recording, if you want it to sound legitimate, is going to.
You get a CD press by like huge record labels. You know, they press your CDs and put them in the music stores or whatever. But
Mhm.
those stores are all like falling apart. It's the internet,
Yeah,
and we can
definitely, yeah.
you
And
know that's the way
when you have a big label backing you, once they pay for your recording and your pressing and your promotion, then you don't see a dime of your sales until they get all of their money back plus
All.
whatever you
mean,
agree to in your contract.
Yeah, and that includes absolutely any money that they spend on promotion, any money that they send out, you know, sending out flyers to street teams, sending out
Yeah.
CDs to street teams, sending out, you know, paying for advertisements on websites. They recoup all that 100% before anything. That's why, like, touring is of utmost importance. Like, if you're gonna be in a band and put out, you can't make it on CD sales. You gotta hit the road. You gotta be in the band, you know, with your friends. Which is, if you're in a band, what more would you want to do, man? Let's get out of
That's
here.
why we're a band, because we're friends.
Oh,
We're not
man, let's
like
hit the road.
Yeah.
we're
Why not?
friends that love to play music. We're not just like these selfish like
Mhm.
music players that like, oh, you're really good, so we found you. Like we come together. That's what I think a song should be about, connection. And then when you go play music for people, they hopefully feel that connection and feel the vibe you're getting out there and everything.
Like, you can analyze any of us as musicians. Like,
Nothing. Yeah.
we're not going to be in the top tier of the musicians. Like, we play with a lot of bands where, you know, their musicianship is, you know, just flat out better. They have better equipment. The fact of the matter is, like, when we come together, there's just something a little different about that, and people have taken note of that. And the more that people come out to see us, the more that people will take note of it, because that's just something that it's just there. I mean,
not that we're necessarily against like huge labels. Like if they gave you they do a lot of good things, obviously.
Yeah.
So if they just I don't know.
But like
Just have to see.
good music isn't the same thing as technical music either. Like, you can make good music without having it be
Yeah.
ridiculous solos that you can't really even hear different notes in.
Yeah.